Hi, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's webinar. My name is Manoj Kumar and I am the Senior Product Specialist at 42 Gears. 42 Gears is the leading provider of SaaS and on-premise based enterprise mobility management solution. We offer several enterprise-ready products to help companies track, manage, and secure enterprise mobile devices. Today we'll be talking about BYOD with SureMDM. Before we get started, I would like to say that if you have any questions during the presentation, please drop them in the question box. I will be answering them at the end of the webinar. Now, without a further ado, let's start with our topic for the day. Now, I'm sure most of you are already familiar with the term BYOD or bring your own device. It refers to employees who bring their own computing devices to work, such as smartphones, laptops, and tablets. These devices are used in addition to or instead of company-owned devices. BYOD promises many benefits such as greater innovation, better work-life balance, and improved productivity. But at the same time, it is also increases pressure on IT to manage and secure devices and data. So how to do BYOD successfully is a challenge for most companies. So let's take a look at the most important features of BYOD. The implementation of BYOD solution has changed dramatically in the last few years. More and more mobile platforms like iOS, Android, and Windows have identified the power of BYOD as a business strategy that can be tailored to their unique business and employee needs. They have come up with better frameworks within their operating system to support it. BYOD allows easy implementation of EMM programs like mobile device management, mobile application management, and mobile content management. Now let's move on to the components of SureMDM. Here our design and implementation of BYOD through SureMDM is very fresh. We have harnessed the complete support offered by all major platforms like Apple, which offers iOS MDM support, and Google, which offers Android for work support. With SureMDM, you can harness new potential of modern operating systems. SureMDM offers a new and better way of BYOD implementation. It includes the Enterprise App Store, so it allows admins to create their own enterprise app stores. They can compile their own apps and push it to the enrolled mobile devices. Next one would be the email configuration. So here with email configuration, SureMDM provides a native user experience that is close to what we basically use it daily on our personal mobiles. So this is one of SureMDM biggest USPs. For Android, you can use a Gmail app, and for iOS, you can use the native email client to configure mails. The next one would be the Active Directory or the area of integration. It lets you enroll your devices using the Active Directory authentication for easy registration on SureMDM console. The end user would get prompted with a username and a password dialog to enter his or her AD credentials and successfully register the device. The last one would be the file store. So basically file store offers a secure way to distribute documents and files on Android and iOS devices. This feature allows organization to create a document library and share documents like images, videos, and other files across devices. So we will now move on to a short but a descriptive demo of SureMDM. This will help you gather how easy it is to enroll a BYOD device on SureMDM and what all features the platform provides to manage and monitor the devices. Once again, please do put in any queries you may have in the question box. I'll be answering them at the end of this session. Okay, so if you have to log in onto a SureMDM console, so you just have to type in the URL, that is the suremdm.42gs.com. So that would open you this login page. And if you are already an existing customer, you just have to give in your username and password here. And if you are a new user, so you just have to click in on this link, new user sign up. So it would take you to a page where you have to enter your email ID and the password here, and it is just 2 clicks away for the registration, and it comes up with a 30-day free trial. So as I already have a username and a password with me, so I'll just log in using that. So let me click on the login here. So once you click on the login, so it would take you to the SureMDM console. So currently I have enrolled 2 devices in my console. So that is the Nexus 5, that is the Android device, and I even have an iPhone 6s here. So if you see, I'll try to mirror the device as well here. So I have the device here with me. This is the Android device where we have installed the Nix agent here. So there you see the Nix agent here. So SureMDM Nix is the agent which communicates between the device and the server. It can be downloaded from our website, Play Store, or even the App Store. So now what we would be looking into is like how do we enroll all our Android devices for BYOD program. So if you see, you just have to select the device, and on the device info panel there is an option called Android for work. So here the current status is it is not being enrolled, so you can just enroll it from the console side. And at the same time from the device side also you would be able to enroll it. So just click on the Nix agent. So you would be able to see the settings option here. So just click on the settings. So you have a option called Android for work here. So just click on the Android for work. So the first option says enroll your devices. So clicking on this, you can enroll for AFW. So what I would do now is I would enroll it from the console side. So I'll just click on the edit option, and on this pop-up it would say like, would you like to enable Android for work on this device? Yes, in my case. So what would happen here is on the device side, you would be prompted with the provisioning AFW pop-up, so where it says setup managed profile on this device. So I'll click on that, and it would take you to a screen where it would set up your profile. So what we are doing is we are setting up the work profile now. So using SureMDM here as the agent, and just click on the setup. So once you click on the setup, just on the next screen, just click on the OK button. and this would start setting up your work profile. So once it is done, so it would take around 30 to 40 seconds to set up the profile on the device side. So in meanwhile, what we would do is on the console side, we have to enroll for AFW as well. So we would go to that part. So you just have to click on the profiles, and if you select the Android option here on the top, you would see there is an option called Enroll AFW. So you just have to click on that Enroll AFW. So this would redirect you to the play.google.com website, so where it says bring Android to work. So here you should have a Google managed account to get it enrolled. So just click on the Get Started button, and in the organization details, so it would request you to enter the organization name. So in my case, it would be 42KS. And you just enable the agreement of Google Play Store, and you just click on the confirm button here. So once you click on the confirm button, so it says like complete registration. Yes, click on it, and this would take you back to the SureMDM console once the enrollment is successful. So what we would see here is on the device side, we had set up the AFW profile. So we will see, I'll show you how does it look like once the enrollment is done on the device side. So if you see here, this is the SureMDM NIX agent, and if you want to confirm whether it has been enrolled for BYOD, so you would be able to see this sign on the NIX. That is the orange icon with a briefcase sign. So that means okay, SureMDM has been successfully enrolled for a BYOD program. So we have successfully enrolled Android devices, and for iOS devices, enrolling an iOS device on SureMDM does not require any major steps here. So once you register the device, it automatically becomes BYOD compliant. Now I will take you through the most important tabs on the utility panel. So that is the top section here. And before I talk about the profile section, where you can push the multiple profiles to the device, I will first quickly take you through the App Store and the File Store section. So this App Store is the mobile application management, and the File Store is the mobile content management here. So this will help you understand the functionality better when we go back and see the feature included in the profiles. So just let me click on the App Store here for you. And an App Store with enterprise approved mobile apps, it allows easy and more streamlined distribution of applications here. So it offers employees the freedom to choose and install only necessary corporate approved apps. It will also help lower the device vulnerabilities to unrequired downloads and other security related threats here. So we have two tabs here. So one is the Android and one is the iOS. So let me add an app here for you. So I'll just click on the add new app button here. So we have three options. So that is you can either upload an APK, or you can take an APK link, an HTTP link, or even the web app here. So I'll just upload an APK for you. So let me browse this for you. And I have this enterprise agent. So let me open it. So we would upload the APK to the server. So this should not take much time. And once it is done, you would be able to see the same app next to the 42VS app here. So you have to fill up all the mandatory fields here. So this is an enterprise agent, so it is used for business. and the description would be a business application. So I'll just click on the add button here, and once it is added, you would be able to see the enterprise app here. So how do we push this apps to the devices? We will see when we go to the profile section. And let's move on to the iOS again here. So what we are doing is we are just basically adding the apps to our enterprise app store. So I'll just click on add new app here, and here we have an option to upload the IPA or even from the manifest link, or search from the app store, and either you can do it from a web app. So let me search from app store. So I'm just looking for a scanner app here, so I can just search for it. So I have a list of scanner apps. So I was just looking for this tiny scanner app here. So I'll just add it. Okay, so it got successfully added, and again pushing this app to the devices. We will see how that can be done in the profile section. So moving on to the next part would be the file store. So file store offers a secure way to share and distribute enterprise files on Android and iOS devices. It allows the IT admin to create a document library and share documents like images, videos, and other files across enrolled devices. So now if you see that I have already uploaded 2 document files here. I'll show you how do we upload it. So you can just click on the upload file option here, and have the documents here, and let me upload this PNG file for you, and just click on the done here. So there you go, the PNG file is here for you. And how do we push this for all the devices? We will see that in the profile section, so I'll just stress upon that when I go to the profile section. So let me move on to the profiles now. So in simple terms, profiles allows IT admin to control and manage the functionalities of specific apps and enrolled devices. So if you see, we have the 3 tabs here. That's for Android, iOS, and Windows. So we will just start up with the Android one. So you just click on the add button here. So this would list down all the work profiles that are available for Byod, and we will just go one by one and see what it exactly does. And if you see, the first one would be the password policy. Password policy, it allows you to define passcode policies and remotely apply them on enrolled Android devices. So if you see the first field here, the minimum password quality. So if you see that, you can set it to alphabetic or alphanumeric, or you want a complex password on the devices, you can just select those and you can just set it on the device. And apart from that, you can even set the minimum password length, or the maximum failed attempts, or the maximum password age, or enforced password history, and even the maximum time to lock here. So you can just set up this, save it, and you can just push it onto the device. So I'll be taking a few examples at the end of it, and I will just show you how do we push this to the device and see the changes on the device side as well. Moving on to the next one would be the system settings. So here, if you see that with system settings, you can set policies to enable or disable certain system settings like USB debugging, or disabling the cross-profile copy paste, which is an important feature when it comes to Byod. So you just have to look out for the tag which says Byod on the right hand side. So if you see, we have a tag here which says Byod. So it's basically a disable cross-profile copy paste. So this would be helpful when you have the contents on the work profile, and you don't want someone to copy paste it to the personal profile. So this, if you enable this, so it gets avoided here. So the next one would be the application policy. you can click on add to insert any application from the approved list, and as you saw, the application was added before, and I will just show you that from here. So here we have three options. One is from a SureMDM App Store, or even from the Play for Work, and even from the Configure System Apps. So I'll just click on the SureMDM App Store. If I remember it right, we just added this enterprise agent in the App Store. So I'm just enabling the option here, and I'll just click on add here. So it gets added. You just save it, and you just push it to the devices. So once I'm done with all the profiles, I show you an example how it can be done basically. So moving on to the next one would be the certificates. So you can specify and remotely install corporate certificates and other certificates which are necessary to authenticate the device access to your network. So for example, it can be if you have a certificate for email authentication, you can just upload it and you can push it to the devices. So the next would be the mail configuration. This feature lets you to configure exchange mail on a device via Gmail app. So if you just click on configure, you can see that you can give your email address, host name, and even the username, and create it as a profile and push it to the device. So we will see this as well. And coming to the Wi-Fi configuration, you can use this feature to allow you to remotely configure Wi-Fi and on all the enrolled devices. So you just have to keep the SSID and the password, so that whatever is the SSID here, so the device gets connected to the same SSID. And we support 3 security types, that is the WEP and WPA, PA2 and PSK, and the open here. Moving to the last one is the file sharing policy. It allows you to create a document library and share documents like again images or videos or your PDFs here. And you will remember that had added the document. So basically I added an image there. So this was the image that I added, and I'm just adding that to the list. So you're able to see the list here. So, and we will bundle this together, and we will just push it on one of the devices. So if you see, I'll just click on the back here. So if you see, I have already have a pre-configured profile with me, so which I would like to edit and show you what are the changes I have done for you. So in system settings, I have enabled the option disable cross profile, and in application policy, let me add the enterprise agent for you. And in the mail configuration, I have given the details of my email address, the host name, and the username. And in the file sharing, let me add the PNG file. Right. So I have this profile, and I've given a name for it. That's the Android profile, and let me save this profile for you. So let me apply this settings onto the device. So I'll just click on apply. Okay, so here you see the green tick mark, so that says it has been successfully deployed on the device. And on the device side, I'll just show you how does it look like. Let me mirror my device for you. So if you see here, so there is a Play Store which is in the work profile. So there is a Gmail. So this was basically from the email configuration what we did. And if I go in and I'll just scroll at the bottom. Okay, so this is the SureMDM App Store, so which I have selected. And if you go to the store option here, so you have the enterprise agent here, so which we tried pushing it as a profile. And going back, so this was the SureMDM App Store, and we have the SureMDM File Store as well. Clicking onto it, it gives you two options. One is the home and share. So let me click on the share, and you have the PNG file. So if you need it, you can just download the file, and you can just view the file from here. So for the email configuration, so this was the email configuration which we did. So if I just select onto it and I say skip, so if you see here, this was my outlook.com, so that's basically the exchange mail, and it would ask you to enter the password. So you just have to enter the password, and yep, so you're all set, and you can use your business email onto this. So onto the profile, so we saw how to push a profile. So we will go back to the profile section again, and we will see a few more iOS profiles. Here we have a little bit of common features like the password policy or the application for policy and the file sharing policy. I'll just quickly go through it one by one for you, and we will see how does it work as well with an example. So here the passcode policy is, it allows you to define passcode policies and remotely apply them on all the enrolled iOS devices. So if you just click on configure, so there is a set of field of which you can set, and yeah, you can just push it to the device here. And moving on to the restriction policy, so there is a basically, this feature allows you to remotely disable selected iOS functionalities or even the native apps and the media contents. So here, if you see, we have an option where allow documents from managed source in unmanaged destination, or it can be allow documents from unmanaged source in managed destination. So you just have to disable these two options. So this would be helpful in case where your managed source is your work profile and your unmanaged destination is your personal profile, so that any documents that you download should not get downloaded in the unmanaged destination. So you can use these options there. And moving on to the next one would be the application policy. You can remotely and silently install enterprise certified apps or download them from the App Store directly. So if you see here, I want to add an app. If you remember, I had installed this tiny scanner as an app from the Play Store. So I'll just select the same, and I'll just click on add here. So it gets added, and we can just make it as a profile and push it to the device, and on the device side you would be able to see it. And moving on to the mail configuration. We have for POP, IMAP, and even the Exchange Activesync as well. So here you can just configure with your account type. It can be IMAP or POP3, and just type in the incoming mail and the outgoing mail, and you can just push it onto the devices so that your IMAP and POP3 account are being set up. For Exchange Activesync, you can use this section so to configure. So you just have to give your account name, Exchange Activesync host, even the user and email address. So we will take this as an example, and we will just push it onto the device, and I'll just show you how it works for you. And the last one would be the file sharing policy, which is similar to what we saw in for the Android. And let me add a file for you. So I've just added this doc file, which is the configure using SureMDM. So we just saw how do we do all this, but let me I have this iOS profile which is pre-configured settings, and I'll just show you how does it work. So in the restriction policy, I have just removed this two option, and in application policy I need to add the scanner app for you, and Exchange Activesync have set up the account here for you. And for file sharing policy, let me add an PNG file. So this is my iOS profile configuration, and let me save this profile for you. And the profile has been set. Let me go back to the home, and I'll select one of the iOS devices. Click on apply, and select the iOS profile, and just click on apply here. So I have one of my iOS device which is mirrored here. So let me wait for the configurations to be pushed. So basically this should not take much time for the profiles to get it pushed. So once the profile is being pushed, so if you see here, there is an exclamation mark which says that one job is still pending to be pushed. So that means the job is in process. And once the job is successfully pushed, right, so you would be able to see this green tick mark on the device. Okay, so as it says, all jobs are successfully deployed on the device. Let me show you this here. So this was the agent that we are using, the SureMDM Nix. I'll just click on it, and at the bottom you would be able to see there is that App Store and the EFSS option. So in EFSS option we had two files that which we pushed. One is that download.png and the configure using SureMDM.docs. And in the App Store, if you see, I'll just click on it, and you have the tiny scanner and the SureFox kiosk. So you just have to click on the get option, and you can just install it on the devices. And moving on to the email, so I'll just click on the mail, and I already have a setup of an iCloud, and this is my 42 gears Exchange email, and which I pushed it from the SureMDM. So if you see that it has been configured. So this is the 42 gears email. So now now we saw here like how do we push add a profile and even push a profile. And as we are coming to the end of the demo, right, I will quickly show you how do we remove this Byod scenario from the devices. So it is all just one click how you can remove the profile so that your personal profile stays intact, so that nothing gets deleted from the personal profile. So I'll just take the Nexus device here. So I'll just click on the more option here, and I'll just wipe it. So this would wipe only the container, the work container. So if you see on the device side, so I don't have any SureMDM or the work related apps here, and you don't see any small icons with orange color icon with the briefcase sign on the device. So we have completely removed the work related container from the device. And the same way we will see how we will remove it for Apple. So we have an installed profile here, that is the iOS profile. So let me click on the remove option and just say yes. And on the device side, Let me check it once. So if you see on the device side, where I was just trying to access it. So if you go to the mails again, so initially you had a two option here. One was the iCloud and one was the 42 Ks. So now there is no mail here with respect to the 42 Ks. And here we had a couple of tabs like the App Store and EFSS. So the App Store has been completely removed, and EFS stays back because my settings is set to default, so that EFSS should be there. Yeah. So hope you understood the whole process here. So with this, we come to the end of the demo, and thank you for listening. I would now like to move on to the question and answer session. So I see that there are already some questions here. I will take you through them one by one. The first question here is we have a query that says, okay, how does BYOD with SureMDM address employees privacy concern? Okay, so this is a good question here. And okay, now as we saw in the demo, Android for Work is an enterprise program from Google to help companies provide access to business apps and data on employee phones. So it's securely without interfering with users' personal data, basically. So Android for Work creates an secured isolated container at operating system level, so to separate business data from personal data. It does not require any changes to be made in Android native user interface and in Android application as well. So all business apps can be easily deployed and securely accessed from the work container, so which we saw in our demo session. Now, SureMDM integration with Android for Work, it provides a flexible and effective BYOD solution, and it allows employees' personal phone to be used for work, and you can counter the security risk that comes with it. So it lets admin to create a secure work profile by separating your business and your personal apps. Even SureMDM will also restrict functionalities like copy pasting to and from work apps, and even opening a corporate attachment or links in your personal apps, and even in the browsers as well. So that was for the first question, and we have one more here. So that is, will SureMDM make it easier for IT to deal with security and workforce acceptance in a BYOD scenario? Okay, so here this question can be best explained through the concept of containerization. So the technology is an effective solution for the dilemma faced by enterprises in balancing the business requirements with the employee demands. The technology enables the creation of isolated container on employees' personal handheld, and safeguards the corporate data on employee devices from vulnerabilities. The container even isolates the enterprise data from rest of the devices. So in case the device is stolen or lost, the admin will be capable of wiping off the container without affecting the personal assets here. So if you see, SureMDM is extended with containerization features for improved mobile collaboration and cost reduction, and it will help keep the IT focused on containerized apps rather than on the entire devices. So We have a couple of more questions here. Let me have a look. We have one query which says, can you do a demo about reports? Maybe the next time, can we remote the phone without root the device? So yes, obviously, we would have a couple of other webinar sessions where we will for sure show you how does our reports work. And yeah, and can we remote the phone without rooting the device? Yes, we can do it if it is a Samsung device or a platform signed device. So for platform signature, we already have tie-ups with most of the major OEMs like Lenovo, HP, Panasonic, Videocon, and Honeywell. So we are in talks, so we can do it on platform signed devices as well. I can take a last question here. So it says, can a device share files to another device? So I think so. Let me check. We have Prakash here. He's our CTO. Prakash, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, so we have a question here from David. So he says, can a device share files to another device, or shared docs will be shared only to main console management?
So okay, so technically yes. The enterprise file store that Manoj demoed a few minutes ago. There we have a capability in which we can share a folder to multiple users with a read-write access as well, using which one particular device can upload content to that particular folder under enterprise file store, and that file will get synced to the cloud, and then from cloud it gets synced to other devices. So yes, in a way, it is possible to share files between multiple devices. I hope that answers the question.
Okay. Thanks, Prakash, for that. So, guys, the planned time for this webinar session is over, and if you have any queries, you can always please feel free to drop a mail at webinars@42gears.com or visit us at www.42gears.com. And with that, we come to the end of this webinar. Thank you, everyone. It was a pleasure being with you today. Thanks again for joining us today, and we will see you next time.